The hum of fluorescent lights filled the quiet halls of Westbridge Private Care Hospital as Anna Monroe made her way down the corridor, her heart uneasy. Something about today felt different. She had been a nurse here for nearly 2 years, but the moment Drive. Harris, head of neurology, called her into his office. A strange weight settled in her chest. Had she done something wrong? Inside his polished office, the smell of antiseptic and leather filled the air. Dr. Harris stood by the window, his sharp gaze lost in the city view. "Anna," he began, his tone serious, "I have a patient who needs special care. But this job isn't for the weak-hearted." Her brows furrowed. "What kind of patient?" He turned, studying her before gesturing toward the thick file on his desk. Grant Carter. The name hit her like a jolt. Grant Carter, the youngest billionaire in the city. A year ago, he'd made headlines after his car plunged off a bridge. Since then, he had been in a coma, trapped between life and death. Now, that once powerful man was lying helpless in a hospital bed. "Doctor," Harris' voice softened, "most of the staff do their duties and move on. But he needs someone who truly cares. I think that someone is you." Anna took a slow breath, the weight of his words sinking in. Caring for a man who might never wake up, a man whose wealth once ruled thousands, was no small task. But deep down, she already knew her answer. "I'll do it," she said quietly. That night, when she stepped into Grant's private suite, she almost forgot to breathe. Unlike other sterile rooms, this one was luxurious. Dim chandeliers, oak furniture, a view of the city skyline. In the center of it all lay Grant Carter. Even surrounded by tubes and monitors, he was strikingly handsome. His stillness seemed both tragic and powerful. Anna hesitated before placing the warm cloth against his skin. The moment she touched him, a strange chill ran through her spine, as if he could somehow feel her there. The heart monitor beeped softly in rhythm, filling the silence. She smiled faintly, whispering, "I guess you don't get a say in this, huh?" That became her routine. Every day, she bathed him, talked to him, told him stories about her day, the cafeteria food, the gossip among nurses, the quiet loneliness of late shifts. At first, it was just to fill the silence. But soon, she found herself looking forward to it. Somewhere deep down, she believed he could hear her. Weeks passed. Then one day, as she adjusted his pillow, she felt something, a faint pressure against her wrist. She froze. His fingers had twitched. She stared, heart hammering. Maybe it was her imagination, but then it happened again. "Doctor, Harris ran tests. There's increased brain activity," he told her later. "It's a good sign, but don't get your hopes up too high." Too late for that. Anna's heart was already full of hope. That night, she sat by his bed, whispering, "I don't know if you can hear me, Grant. But I think you can." And somewhere, in the quiet depths of his unconscious mind, Grant Carter was listening. Days later, as Anna gently bathed him in the morning light, she spoke softly, "I'm thinking about getting a dog. At least it'll listen when I talk." She smiled. "Unlike you." And then, it happened. Grant's fingers tightened around her wrist. Her breath caught. Her pulse pounded in her ears. Before she could react, his eyes opened. Those deep, ocean blue eyes, confused, raw, alive, locked onto hers. His lips parted. A sound came out, rough, barely a whisper. "Where am I?" For a moment, she couldn't breathe. The impossible had just happened. When the doctors rushed in, chaos filled the room. "Doctor." Harris barked orders, nurses scrambled, monitors beeped. But through it all, Grant's gaze found Anna's again. And, though he didn't know her name, his eyes said everything: recognition, trust, connection. Over the next days, Grant's recovery became the talk of the hospital. He learned to speak again, then walk, his strength slowly returning. But his memory, that was another matter. He remembered almost nothing, until the nightmares began. Flashes of headlights, screeching tires, a dark road, a shadowy figure watching. Then, blackness. It wasn't just an accident. Someone had tampered with his brakes. When Anna checked the file, her blood ran cold. The brake failure wasn't mechanical, it was deliberate. Someone had tried to kill him. And when Grant remembered the same thing, the truth became undeniable. They dug through his records, his finances, his family connections, until the final piece fell into place. A payment made days before the crash. The sender, Nathan Carter, Grant's half-brother. Betrayal cut deeper than any wound. That night, Grant confronted Nathan in the family estate. "Why?" he demanded. Nathan smirked. "Because I was tired of living in your shadow." Before Grant could react, police stormed in, officers Anna had quietly alerted. Nathan was arrested, shouting curses as he was dragged away. For the first time, Grant could finally breathe again. The storm was over. Weeks later, Grant invited Anna to dinner at his estate. The lights were low, candles flickered, soft music played. She looked around, bewildered. "What is all this?" He smiled faintly. "Dinner. Just you and me." As they sat across from each other, he said quietly, "You know how many people walked away when I was in that coma? Everyone. Except you." His voice trembled slightly. "You stayed when I was nothing. You kept me alive when I couldn't even open my eyes." Anna's heart swelled, tears glistening in her eyes. "I don't know how it happened," he whispered, his hand finding hers. "But I love you, Anna." She couldn't hold back the tears anymore. "I love you too." Months later, under the golden sunset on the rooftop of the Carter estate, Grant knelt before her, holding out a small velvet box. "You didn't just save my life," he said softly. "You became it. Anna Monroe, will you marry me?" Her answer was a breathless laugh and a tearful yes. 1,000 times yes. Their wedding was nothing short of magical. The Carter Gardens shimmered under soft lights, white roses lined every path, and as Anna walked down the aisle toward Grant, all she could see was him. Her miracle, her reason, her forever. When the officiant finally said, "I now pronounce you husband and wife," Grant kissed her with a tenderness that spoke of every sleepless night, every whispered hope, every battle they had fought together. And as they walked hand in hand into the glowing sunset, Anna knew their story wasn't just about survival, it was about love that refused to give up. Because sometimes, miracles don't come from heaven. Sometimes, they come from the hands that never stop caring. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming tales like Anna and Grant's, where love proves stronger than fate itself.